Alright, welcome back to another gun build, guys, in Modern Warfare. Today we're going to be looking at the Finn LMG, and for some reason, there we go. I guess you already kind of seen a little bit of what the build I was trying to set up here, but what I'm going to be doing is going to be technically doing a re-upload of a build for the Finn, and it is going along like the playlist of the worst gun builds they can use on guns. It's really just for trolling people. Like, if you're actually able to do good with this gun, with a certain kind of build, props to you. But really, it's going to be almost garbage, but it's really going to be garbage at longer ranges. Up close, you won't really have too hard of a time like dealing with this kind of build. And but for longer ranges, it'll be absolutely awful. So what it's pretty much doing is dropping the bullet velocity on the Finn LMG to where it's insanely slow. On top of that, it also reduces the actual damage range, which is, I believe, is about 30 meters or so for the LMG here. And combining two different attachments, you can actually make the damage range go from 30 meters down to 9. So it's about in the same damage range or effective damage range as a shotgun. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. For the shotgun, or not for a shotgun, turning it into a shotgun, but for the barrel, you want to be going with the FTAC VC8 Harrier. You can either go with the adverse here, or the actual, like, where is it? The normal Harrier one right here. But it looks like this one takes away a little bit more bullet velocity. Yeah, so you would want to go for the adverse one. It does speed up your bullets a little bit more, or it does speed up your fire rate, but it does drop down your range a little bit more than your actual normal Harrier barrel here. So, as you can see down in the stats, that's due to recoil control and stuff because it has a faster fire rate, but there we go. From there, so that reduces your bullet velocity. You want to go to your ammunition, and you can either pick one of these two right here. It doesn't really matter. I would probably go with the lighter one just to make it to where it's a little bit better to use. But you want to have the CT75 like round belts, or the telescoped, however you say that. Kind of casings, or the 5.56 casings there. So that reduces your bullet velocity by 45%, if I'm not mistaken. The barrel reduces it by 30%. And you can also put on the flash guard, which I've been trying to get stats for this attachment, but there's not anyone that actually set up any kind of stats for this. But it's not an insane amount of bullet velocity taken away, but it is some there. So 3 of these attachments make the bullets go as slow as they could possibly get. Now on top of that, we also want to make it to where it's really awful for longer ranges, but also speed up your gun. So you can make it either having a no stock, so you have way worse recoil control and aiming stability, but you also have aim down sight speed and movement speed. Or you can go with the XRK chainsaw stock, and this one will give you movement speed, hip fire accuracy, sprint to fire speed, cons being aim down sight speed, and weapon mount ability. So there we go for that. On top of that, it's really whatever you guys would want for any other attachment. You can put on a sniper scope if you want to. It will be blocked by the bar right here, so you'll have an attachment that does absolutely nothing. So that's also a really good attachment to use for this build. And this is practically what you would want for the worst gun build. So you want the sniper scope. Even though you don't aim down the sight for the sniper, if you're holding L2 or what is it, right click or right mouse button, I guess, for mouse, or mouse and keyboard there, if you're actually aiming down sight, or aiming in a hip fire kind of sight with a chainsaw stock, the sniper scope still gives off a sniper glint. So even though you're not using the scope, it's still giving away a sniper glint kind of deal. So it is really an absolutely like useless attachment, and actually harms you in a sense. So perfect for this kind of jacked up build. So yeah, there we go. So this is going to be the slowest gun, or like actual bullet speed here. So what it's supposed to really do, it will give off this kind of effect, or it's supposed to anyway. You'll definitely feel it when you're in long ranges, like I said before, but it's going to make it to where you feel like you're kind of lagging almost when you're shooting someone. It's really, really slow. or compared to other guns anyway. I want to run the chainsaw stock because, you know, adding the sniper scope with that to where it does absolutely nothing but harm you is the way to go. As you can see, aim's down, sight,
Team
fairly slow. I
deathmatch.
mean, it is an LMG,
You
so.
are clear to engage all threats.
Low on ammo.
Now you can see right there, the bullets already start to drop. Just from that range, the bullets are starting to curve a little bit more. You can actually visibly see it.
You're in control.
As opposed to a normal fin, which this guy happened to have. You see the bullets go more in a straighter line.
Low on
Personal
ammo.
radar drone standing by.
Low on ammo.
Reload.
Ready for deployment. Precision airstrike ready.
So like I said, it takes away about, you know, almost all of your actual bullet velocity and damage range. So now you have about like a 9-meter area of effective damage range. It's gonna take you about 4 to 5 shots, or 5 to 6 shots really, to kill anybody. So it is definitely not one of the best gun builds you can possibly use. But I thought it was really cool because you could turn this thing into one of the worst things possible. I was trying to get execution on, but I just ended up slapping him.
Personal radar drone standing by.
Friendly recon online.
Copy. UAV ready for deployment.
It's still alright. I mean, it can still get kills. It's just god awful at doing it.
Better now.
Let me see if I could take off the chainsaw stock and I'll put on the nose stock here. This will give it the most amount of recoil. But now you could actually use the sniper scope, which also gives you more recoil, or visible recoil anyway. So it looks a lot like this.
Low on ammo.
Absolutely awful.
Falcon 3-0. Personal radar depleted. Recalling to
So if
base.
you can, so definitely a recommended build for Warzone for you guys who are going for those longer ranges, right? So definitely an awesome build for it.
Running low.
UAV ready for deployment. Precision airstrike ready.
No, couldn't reload fast enough. You know, also it has, you know, the actual LMG handling speeds of reloading and sight speed and stuff. It also has, you know, the open bolt delay, so
Personal radar
yeah,
drone
so I think it would be
standing by.
better to go with an actual like nose stock so you can get that extra recoil if you wanted to make it as difficult as can be. But yeah, just try it on anybody. If you get yourself an actual kill with this thing, it'll definitely feel like you are actually rewarded for actually doing that.
Running low.
Challenging himself, and it's also a really fun build to do in private game modes and stuff when you're playing with friends. So, gosh dang, this thing is evil. I hate it when it comes to the actual like that. That's a lot. Okay, so there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's pretty fast. It's showing one of the worst builds in the game. I'll go over another one in a little bit. But yeah, so there we go. You guys enjoyed the video, and tell me what you guys think about it after you know actually set up the gun build and use it. And I'll see y'all in the next one.